Patty and Peggy McDaniel were born February 6, 1962. They were fraternal twins and grew up in New Jersey. Like most twins, Patty and Peggy were dependent on each other. The twins were inseparable, like two peas in a pod. Their parents would get divorced. The dad would end up moving to Live Oak, Florida. The twins stayed with the mom. As Patty and Peggy got older, the more dependent on each other they were. Their mom, Joyce, would decide to send Peggy to Florida to live with their dad, and Patty stay in New Jersey with her mom. The reason for Joyce doing this is to help Patty and Peggy be more independent and learn how to live without each other. As time went on, the twins convinced their mom to let Patty move down there with Peggy to their dad's house in Live Oak, Florida. But eventually the mom finds out that the twins don't like the new wife of their dad. They weren't getting along too well at that point. Summer of 1979, Patty and Peggy were both 17. They met a man named Marvin Warren. He was 19. A little bit after they knew him, they moved down from Live Oak to Pompano Beach, which is a city in Broward County. Pompano Beach is 366 miles southeast from Live Oak. They would eventually be met with a man, 36-year-old Eddie Ross. Decades later, in 2023, the younger sister Paula, she would say, in quotes, "The girls were actually being groomed for human trafficking there in Live Oak," end quotes. Problem would arise. Patty and Peggy would send their mom, Joyce, a letter in the mail saying that they needed help, and they needed help moving back to New Jersey. Eventually, the mom would hear nothing from Patty and Peggy, and she would go down to Florida and find out that Patty and Peggy were missing. Nobody knew where they were. Police would find out Patty and Peggy met a man and befriended him, a 25-year-old Nelson George Johnson. But the thing is, Nelson George Johnson would actually be found September 19th of 1979 in his car, shot to death in the trunk in Lauderhill, Florida. Joyce would say, in quotes, "I came to the conclusion a long time ago that the children were not any longer alive, but that